Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am Kalani Lua. This is Kalani's Corner for Franchise Sports Media. This is episode 1, and we are starting it off with a banger. Coming up is a heavyweight clash between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder for the WBC and the Ring Magazine Championship, T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas, Nevada. These two are meeting for the third time, and I gotta tell you, it's always been a banger between these two. They say styles make fights. Well, these two have the perfect styles to meet for a classic showdown. You got the Gypsy King. There's only one, Tyson Fury, coming in for someone who's 6'9", north of 270, right? This guy moves like a lightweight. Seriously, as someone his size should not be able to move the way that he does. He's light on his feet, head moving all around, tremendous boxer, and has tremendous confidence in what he can do. He knows after 2 fights with Deontay Wilder, one of the hardest hitters in boxing history, I can take this guy's punch. Yeah, sure, he's caught me a few times, but I could take his punch and I could give it back to him. You got Deontay Wilder, Bomb Squad! Literally put any man out like that. One right hand, heck, even a left hand, he can put you out, and it is ridiculous the amount of force that he can generate. 6'7", he's added on some weight, muscle, but first time these guys met, he was about what, 212, 210, maybe? And he could literally knock out anybody in the world. When they say this guy hits like a tank, they're talking about Deontay Wilder. These two going at it to settle the beef, to settle the score. Who is the best heavyweight around? These two behemoths stepping in against one another. Again, it's a classic matchup, boxer versus puncher. Deontay Wilder, if for those of you that don't know, very quickly, started his boxing career on an unusual path. Started off trying to play football, didn't necessarily make it there, transitioned over into boxing later in life, found out, hey, I could really knock some people out. Went in there and has gone on an amazing streak, 42-1-1 with 40 knockouts. 40 knockouts. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know, please, if you check out any of Deontay Wilder's highlights, he is putting guys to sleep. What they say, the left one sends you to the hospital, the right one sends you to the morgue. It is a damn shame what he can do with that amount of force. So when he's going in there against someone like Tyson Fury, Fury knows I can take his punches. Fury also showed in the second fight that if I come forward and I apply the pressure to Wilder, he's not good at fighting backwards. He's not good at being on the defensive. He's used to being the bully. He's not used to being bullied. And for Wilder, he did say after the second fight that he had knee issues going in, needed to get that looked at. It's very hard to judge someone when they come up with those kind of excuses, because you can say, hey, look, that's a legit reason. If the dude was injured going in, you're not going to admit it beforehand and give your opponent extra ammunition on what they could possibly use against you in the bout. But to say it afterwards, honestly, it always comes off as, oh, you're just making it up. You're just saying what we've heard many fighters do that. I don't feel Deontay Wilder is like that himself, where he's just going to find an excuse on why he lost. I legit feel like, one, he did have a significant injury. How serious? We shall see. But I think Tyson Fury's game plan just threw him off. Again, Wilder, with the amount of power that he has, always has his opponents backing up. Even guys who may try to start off coming forward and, oh, I'm gonna get inside. They feel a couple jabs and a couple rights from this guy. They don't want any more. They're backing up. Tyson Fury stayed coming forward, stayed coming at him. It was a classic scene from the Rocky films. Apollo Creed or Drago or Clubber Lang beating up on the champ, beating up on him, and he kept coming forward. And that was Tyson Fury, coming at him, coming straight at him, throwing his own combinations, his own powerful shots. Being 6'9", 270, you got a couple of those in the backhand. You got a couple of those in your back pocket. So with Fury able to get the knockout victory in the last go around, is that in Deontay Wilder's head? We've seen from a lot of boxers when you can't put a guy out. And the perfect example is Iron Mike Tyson. He fights someone like a Buster Douglas, an Evander Holyfield, a Lennox Lewis. His power could not put those guys down. His power didn't back those guys away. He did knock down Buster Douglas. I get it. Guys, it is what it is in that particular one. But forget that. But when Tyson couldn't put them away, we saw that he struggled making adjustments. For Deontay Wilder, now that he knows that he can't put Tyson Fury away with just one shot, what's his game plan now? Has he made the proper adjustments in being able to say, hey, okay, if Fury wants to come at me and be the aggressor, here's what I can do to counter it? Is he going to try to circle him to the left, catch him with different angles? Is he maybe going to say, before Fury comes forward, I'm going to push forward? And if that means in the early going, we end up having a lot of clinching and a lot of holding between one another, fine. Tyson Fury, who switched camps, he's training with the late great legend Emmanuel Stewart's son out in Detroit. They're bringing it down with their fight club. And one of the things Emmanuel Stewart and Lennox Lewis used to preach, when you're fighting a guy who's a bully, who hits hard, who's strong, every single moment you have to be the bully. You have to be the aggressor. For an example, if we do a tie-up, you never back up from the tie-up. You always walk forward and you push him off of you. Mentally, that's going to stick in his head that, oh no, this guy's here. And again, we saw that in the rematch that these two had. Does Wilder now try to counter and say, I'm going to get you before you get me. I'm going to press forward before you press forward. I'm not going to allow you to attack me and come forward at me. No, I'm going to come to you. And let's see how you do, Tyson Fury. Because we saw in the first match, and we've seen throughout Tyson Fury's career, Fury can box, he will move around. But if you press him with the type of power Deontay Wilder has, it could now present Fury with, okay, do I try to see two bulls pushing each other and going at it, and who's going to back down first? That could lead to an early knockout for either fighter. Or do I now resort to what I naturally do, which is moving around, staying light on my feet, popping my jab, coming in 1-2, tying them up, release, and go from there? Questions. We will get answers when these two collide in the ring. It is very interesting to see these guys in a short period of time say, we're not going to take other fights. We're not going to go out and try to build this up. We want to fight each other immediately after these fights. The first one ended in a draw, which was a classic matchup between two guys who fought very differently. Fury outboxed Wilder in the first go-around, but Wilder had two knockdowns, including a knockdown in the 12th round, which till this day, none of us can explain how the heck the Tyson Fury gets up. He goes out like a light, and if for any of you who are wrestling fans, rises like the Undertaker and ends up winning the rest of the 12th round, which caused it to be a draw. The second fight, we see Tyson Fury, a little bit heavier, a little bit stronger, pressing the forward action, being more aggressive, taking on Wilder, putting him out of his element, knocking him down a couple of times, first time in his career, and then getting the finish in the 7th round over Deontay Wilder when his corner threw in the towel, something Wilder was not a fan of. In fact, I believe he's moved on from that particular trainer, not having him in his camp and just sticking with the original trainers and coaches that he's used basically his entire professional career that's got him to this point. So what adjustments should be made? Personally, in just my opinion, I think Fury's still going to try to come at him. I think Fury feels that there's not enough time between our bouts, especially with COVID-19 and all that presents, that he's made the proper adjustments. And honestly, I don't know if Wilder has it in his toolbox to make those kind of adjustments to be able to fight back and up, to be a counter puncher. I think Fury's going to try to press the action early and see what adjustments has Wilder made. For Wilder, I think what he might try to do against Fury, if he chooses to play the counter game, I think he's going to try to pick his shots from afar and do the sniper approach. I'm gonna step back, bam, bam, throw my jab out there more often. That's something that Wilder didn't do so much in the first one, but pop his jab out there a little bit more. Don't just allow Tyson to walk him down, and then as soon as Tyson gets past the jab, bam, throw that right hammer that he's got right there. You throw that in, you land a couple, maybe it keeps Fury from pressing so often and so consistently against you. But you can also look at it and say, what if these two just say, hey, let's meet in the middle of the ring and let's just throw some leather? Let's see who goes down first. Either way, folks, we are in for a tremendous battle between two of the all-time greats. The winner of this, I'm pretty sure there won't be a fourth one right away, especially when you have other top options out there in the boxing heavyweight division. We'll get into those in later episodes, but I just want to say, this is going to be one where, as T.O. says, get your popcorn ready. It is going down. The Gypsy King, Tyson Fury, the Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder, T-Mobile Arena, heavyweight title on the line. It is going down. Be sure to tune back in here to Kalani's Corner on Franchise Sports Media for this and more of your sports features. Thank you. Till next time, everybody, keep it going.